Make sure to subscribe to Ben on YouTube so you can stay up to date on everything Humble.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Data and Drama Show. It's your boy, Ben Humble. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. Yo, here's the deal. We're talking about raising private money. It's never been more important than right now to understand this topic. You know, back in 2008, when I got into the real estate thing a little bit more aggressively, I found some deals, but I couldn't find any cash. I had to get extremely creative. I started reading all these other people's money books, OPM, all this stuff. And I started understanding very quickly that the fastest way to scale a real estate business is to know how to work with investor capital. I'm talking private money. I'm talking finding other investors who love to lend their money into deals and not focus so much on just bank financing. So I got an amazing guest. I got my boy here. We're in the same mastermind. My boy's young buck, 26. I love this cat. Wrote an amazing book called From Valet to Millionaire. And he's in the real estate space, in the wholesaling game. He's out of Cleveland, Ohio area, or Seabus, Ohio. Let me bring out my boy and bring out Mr. Austin Rutherford. Everybody give him a round of applause right now. Come on, man.
What it do, brother? What it do?
Hey, man. How you doing, man? You look good. You look good.
Good, man. I'm excited to be on, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy to have you here, dude. I think you give a lot of perspective, especially to younger guys and girls that are trying to get in the game. You're 26 right now, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you've got an awesome real estate business over there where you're at, and you've got a team. And actually, you and I are in the same mastermind group, which is really cool. You're a guy who's invested in himself. So talk to us, man. How important, and maybe you give us a little bit of your story here first, and then talk about after that why it's so important and why have you gone down this path of trying to raise private money. But tell us about you a little bit, man.
Absolutely. So Austin Rutherford, born and raised, Columbus, Ohio. Bought my dream was to go to the NBA at first. That didn't work. And so I fell in love with real estate. Started reading a lot of like self-development, self-improvement books, and came across residual income. And to me, there's no better way of making money than not having to do anything for it. So bought a duplex when I was 19 years old, just to keep as a rental property. Still own it to today. And then found out I needed to make more money faster to buy more rental properties. So I got my real estate license, sold a couple houses, hated it. And then, got introduced to flipping houses. Bought my first flip when I was 21. Sold it when I was 22, made $103,000 net profit on the deal.
Damn, boy. Let me drop a bomb. Keep going, man.
And just dumped all the money right back into the business. So 22, walked away from close with a $184,000 check, $103,000 net profit. Didn't buy a pair of shoes, didn't go on a vacation, didn't do anything, put it all back into the business. And over the last 5.5 years, flipped about 200 houses.
Dude, I'm going to drop some bombs there. Look at that little drum roll bomb. Dude, over 200 houses in 5 years. It's phenomenal. We came to Canada in 1991 with nothing but a will to thrive. They risked everything they had, left behind everyone they knew.
The only way out of the country was illegal, and the risk was huge.
I adopted the mindset that my parents had of faith and vision for my life. You see, they helped me understand that you get to decide what happens in this world. By the age of 30, I became a millionaire. I refused to accept scarcity, limiting beliefs, or someone else's excuses. So you want to know what the secret is? People ask me all the time, what's the secret? You want to know what it's going to take for you to succeed? Here's the truth. So why private money, man? Did you go through the bank stuff and would decline or whatever? Like, how did you get into like the really raising private money space?
No, great question. So the first house I bought was just conventional financing. And then when I started getting into flipping houses, one of my mentors very, very early on, broke it down to me. You can use all your own money on a deal and not pay interest, and you can do all the work yourself and not pay labor. So let's just say, for example, instead of making $50,000, you make $70,000 because you don't pay interest and labor. But you can only do that twice a year. So you'll make $140,000 and you'll have to do all the work yourself. Or you can leverage other people's time and other people's money to do the work, and to fund the deals. And let's say you do 10 of them, but you only make 50,000 instead of 70,000. You made 500 grand versus 140 grand, and you had way more time freedom on the 500 grand side. So when I heard that, it made sense, and I just started raising private money from day one. That first flip we did was $240,000, 70 purchase, 170 rehab, and I raised it all private money.
So you didn't have any like big limiting beliefs or challenges with, you know, some people are afraid to raise, or they're too greedy. They don't want to use private money because like, oh, I'll keep it all for myself. You know, what's your mindset on that, dude?
Yeah, I mean, like there's a cost to it, obviously, but to me it was simple math. Like the example I just gave you, can make more money using other people's money. And at the beginning, like I was 21 years old and I was asking people for $240,000 of their entire retirement account. So at the beginning, like, yeah, there was a little bit of a self-limiting belief. Like how am I asking somebody for something they've worked for 20, 30, 40, 50 years? So it felt like an ask. It felt like I was asking somebody for a favor to invest in me. But once you learn the game of real estate and you understand money and you understand the power of private money, I feel like it's doing a disservice to people if I don't tell them about this opportunity now. So it comes from an ask to presenting an opportunity, and it changes the entire conversation, because unless you like day trade or are a very aggressive trader, it's very, very difficult to get the type of returns that we can offer. So once you understand that, it's a lot easier to present opportunities to private money lenders.
Dude, I love that you phrase it that way, because it goes from I'm afraid to ask for money because I don't want to get turned down, rejected, whatever, to now it's like, hey, I've got an amazing opportunity that you need to hear about because it's actually going to be better for you financially, to give you more stability. So I love that you would phrase it that way, man. We got a lot of people that watch the show that are probably younger, you know, and I think a big challenge for them is like, well, I'm so young. I'm 18, 19, 20. How can I go around? I mean, did you have that beard at 18? Like, how did you gain the confidence? Because I can't even grow. Like, the only hair I have is in my nose right now. You know what I'm saying? How did you gain that confidence, man?
Man, so it started with educating myself first. You know, you can't go to and ask somebody for $100,000 if you don't know the answers. Like, one of the first people I talked to, private money, they're like, all right, well, what happens if I give you the money and you walk across the street and get hit by a truck? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what would happen. So he obviously didn't give me the money. Now, any question somebody asks me for private money, I have an answer to it. You know, I've put things in place that I've learned to have those answers and to have people feel protected when they lend money. So you have to educate yourself first and then understand the power of it, and you'll get past that self-limiting belief. But you have to understand it. That's the first step to everything.
Well, and if you can't prove confidence in that conversation, then why would you expect somebody to lend over their hard-earned money to you? Because the folks are working very hard, you know, to save 10, 20, 50, $100,000. And if they're going to hand it over to you, especially at 20, 21, 22, you really got to prove some confidence there. So, you know, in having that mindset where you're like, okay, I got to raise it. Like, why didn't you go back to the bank? Is it just that simple conversation where it just clicked with you? Or did you like do some math and realize, hey, man, it's just not going to work? Like, what was that trigger for you that just made you go all in on the private side?
For sure. So like the bank, when I got into the business, flipping houses, we're doing $100,000, $150,000 construction budgets. So banks aren't going to give me money for a $20,000 purchase and a $150,000 rehab, you know, especially at 21, 22 years old.
Yeah, man. Okay.
So I didn't have.
You said $20,000 purchase and a $100,000 rehab.
Yeah.
You were buying like in the ghetto, Class D kind of properties, or what?
Yeah, revitalization zones. So houses that have been abandoned for 10, 20, 30 years.
Got it. Okay, so you're kind of going through part of like the gentrification kind of movement. Like, okay, I love it. Cool. That's awesome. All right, thanks for that clarity. Yep. So keep going on this piece.
So yeah, literally every house we did was $100,000+ renovation. So I had to get private money. It's the only way I could get the deal funded. So, you know, I tapped into the first one lending me money. And then after that, you know, I talk to everybody I can about money now. So they say dig your well before you're thirsty. So at all times, like I've sat there before and I'm like, yeah, you know, I got contacts, I got enough money, and then I run out of money. So I always want to keep building those relationships right now.
I love it. So you're always digging that well, like you just said before you're thirsty. I remember talking to you and you walked me through a pretty slick scenario. I don't know if you want to share it with my folks here, but you got a way about it, right? Like you're always selling, right? You're that dude. So how do you like, maybe you don't have to give us the whole secret sauce, but how do you really frame that? Because I think a lot of people are just afraid to talk about this subject, right?
Absolutely. No, great question. It's the biggest question. Where do I find them and how do I pitch them?
Yeah.
So first things first, I promise you, the first thing is you have to be confident in your offer, in your opportunity, because it's very, very difficult to get an opportunity like that. So it's a posture type of conversation. You're coming from up here instead of down here. So first thing, you got to be confident and understand it. But I put myself in areas where there is money. So instead of going into the, corner bar in the hood to eat dinner, I'll go to a steakhouse and sit at the bar because I want to be around people with money. I'll go to clubhouses. I'll go to high-end restaurants. My girlfriend gets mad at me when we go out to eat because she wants to sit at the table, but I want to sit at the bar and brush shoulders with people.
Right.
And then once you're around an area that people have money, the first question always comes up, well, what do you do? And they'll be like, well, I'm a doctor, blah, blah, blah. Well, what do you do? And then my intro line is like, I'm a real estate investor and I use other people's money to fund my deals. And then if they have any interest whatsoever, they'll ask, well, what does that mean? And then your foot's in the door. And if they're like, oh, cool, and then turn around and walk away, they're never going to lend you money anyways.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. It's such a simple thing, but once you phrase it that way, you're opening up that potential conversation. So you're just doing that everywhere you go, right, my brother? And you ain't going to McDonald's waiting in the line for the cheapest value meal stack, right? Like you got to go to the kind of establishments where people have coin, you just said. And I remember Mark talking about the same thing. Like, dude, he would go when he had no money and sit at the golf course
and drink
water or club soda just to be in a room with these people. Yep. So you got to get around people that have what you want. And I love even Grant Cardone says, someone's got my money. Who's got my money, right?
Absolutely.
Dude, I love that. So now you're doing all this stuff. You wrote a really dope book, right? From valet to millionaire. Walk us through like that whole journey, man. Like, why'd you write the book? What inspired you to push it forward? Walk us through that. I'd love to hear the story.
No, absolutely. I was always the one that kept to myself. I would never be on camera. I would never take pictures. I would never post on social media. And it was just to myself. I made money and just did my thing. And Mark, our mentor, one part, the mastermind we were in, he just kept pushing me. He was like, bro, you got to start posting on social media. You got to put yourself out there. You just got to show the journey. You got to show the story. So started posting on social media, started getting a lot of traction, a lot of comments, started coaching people off of it. And then he's like, yo, you got to write a book. I was like, I can't write a book. Like, how do you even write a book? And he just kept pushing. He's like, got to write a book, got to write a book, got to write a book. And finally, I went on vacation down to the Caribbean for 5 weeks. And the goal was to write a book and develop an online course. And in the first week, I wrote the entire book. Because you lock into something, you just get it done. I'm sure you're the same type. Like we do something, we just do it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So wrote the book, hired somebody for like $600 to edit it. There might be a couple misspellings in the book.
Okay.
And, threw it on Amazon and the rest was history. So done's better than perfect in my opinion.
Dude, always progress before perfection, which a lot of people struggle with that idea. You and me were hanging out in December. We were down in on the island, man. We were chilling on the beach, having conversations with the mastermind guys and hanging out. And it really got me thinking about the power of really connecting with people at a higher level. A lot of times we try to do this on our own. When I meet young guys like you, and not young guys, I used to be the youngest guy everywhere. And now I just look like the youngest guy everywhere. But I see people younger than me now. Like I'm 35, right? You're 26. I'm like, dang, I should have got started when I was 4.
For real.
Communism, I would have got started sooner. Them boys took away all my opportunity. But I think one of the main things with a guy like you who's been so successful so early in life, right, is that you really focused and dive in on your own personal development, your own genius. Mark calls it the economy of one, right? Or the me economy or the economy, right? So you're always in masterminds. You're always plugging in and you're a part of some stuff. Talk to me about that personal development piece, dude. How did you get into this and what maybe like triggered into it? And then what's the result of that whole thing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I believe in education wholeheartedly. I don't necessarily believe that college, traditional schooling is the way of getting the education, but I do believe in education immensely. So like last year, I probably spent, I don't know, $120,000, $130,000 in masterminds and mentors and in education. But, way back when I flipped my first house, I met a mentor that introduced me into real estate investing to flipping houses. And, I don't know what it was, but he pitched me on it, and I had to have the money the next day. So I went home, opened up a credit card, and American Express said I made $150,000 a year. No, I made like $1,000 a year, and they gave me a $20,000 line of credit, and so I maxed out my credit card because I just felt like that opportunity was for me. And ever since then, I was always invested in myself, because like we're in real estate. You know, you learn one thing that gets you one more deal that can make you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So it's very easy to pay off an investment yourself.
Bro, I'm dropping a bomb on that one, because a lot of people don't see that fact, right? And then we live in this scarcity mindset, and I did exactly the same thing. Now you're able to invest and impact your community, because I know a lot of young people look up to you in the Ohio area. So talk to me about that impact piece, man, because I think now you're in an awesome position where you're giving back to folks.
Absolutely, bro. I mean, that's one of the most rewarding things that I've been into. You know, making money is real estate. It's cool. But like getting a text message where someone says, hey, bro, you know, you inspired me to start my business, or, hey, you really took me to the next level. That is rewarding enough. But the crazy thing is, the more you give, you know, Gary Vee said it best. He said, jab, 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 give, right hook or ask, you know, money comes back 100 times over, and you don't even do that on purpose. It just happens because people want more help. So yeah, that's one of the most rewarding parts of the business for me now, is just helping others.
I think people in that position, like your position of authority, you ain't got nothing to prove to people. So you're giving it freely. You're living in abundance. What's that look like, that mindset? Yeah. And did you ever live in scarcity, or did you ever live in fear of that?
Absolutely. You know, when I started in the game, you know, I thought there was a limited amount of deals. You know, if I didn't get the deal, I wasn't going to make any money. Or if I put somebody on game to learn it, you know, they're going to take from me. And, you know, it took some time, honestly. It did take some time to change that. There was some scarcity there for a decent amount of time. But when I started giving more and helping people more money started coming in. It's counterintuitive. It's crazy. But you got to live in abundance. You know, the more I help people, the more it comes back. And like a lot of people are like, well, why do you teach people in your own local market? You know, you're teaching the competition. I don't see this competition, because the more I teach people, like if you're the one that puts somebody on, or you're the one that helps somebody, they remember that. And if they ever need money, they're going to call me. If they ever want to sell a deal, they're going to call me. If they ever want to partner on something, they're going to call me. So it always comes back.
So let me ask you this. Like, you get people who are, you know, they're thinking like, well, if somebody has the money, why wouldn't they just do it themselves, Austin? What do they need you for? Like, why? Like, they're living in this reality where, you know, people are extremely resourceful, and everybody will do it if they just knew how. Is this true, man? Do people with money want to be in your position and do deals?
No, I mean, there's everybody has their own niche. Everybody has their own trait. You know, people with money might not want to, you know, send out the marketing. People that send out a lot of marketing might not want to do the rehab. People that do a lot of rehabs might not have the money. So everyone always has their niche, and you just plug the pieces together. It's like having, you know, 100% of a pie this big, or, you know, 50% of something. You can't even see my arms, but 100 times bigger. You know, if the more people you bring into something, the bigger the opportunity becomes. So for me, it's never, at the beginning, it was a scarcity thing. Now it's, how can we come together? How can we do more together?
Dude, that's powerful. You're making the pie bigger. So it kind of ties back into your original point that you made about, you know, people actually need you. See, I see it now as it's my responsibility to educate people around me of what's available, because, dude, right now people lose their money in the stock market. They lose their money on stuff that they have no clue how it works. The bond market, you're having money in equities, you have money with a financial planner, advisor, what have you. People don't have a clue. They need solid investors to work with. And I see guys like you and myself as the fiduciary. Like, we're the people that are the responsible ones. We're the people that can actually help. So what does that look like, man? Because I feel it's almost like a burden for me to tell people. So like, for me to get scared telling people is counterintuitive right now.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's a self-limiting belief at the beginning. You know, what if I say this and you know, somebody doesn't agree with it, or somebody looks down on it? And at the end of the day, like, I had that moment. I still have those moments at times, but, you know, if they don't want to hear what I have to say, I don't want them to hear what I have to say, because I'm not talking down. I'm not creating a scarcity mindset. I'm not, you know, belittling people. I'm trying to empower people. So if you don't want to hear that, like, you're not the right person to hear it anyways, you know? So I agree with you. You know, I feel like it's a duty to help people, you know, give as much as possible.
I love that. So if somebody's brand new to the game, or maybe they're younger, 20, 30, whatever your age is, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying you're looking to do something, especially right now with everybody sitting at home. How would you advise people like they can get started? What should they do in real estate, in your opinion, as a newbie?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you want to do. If you want to own some rental properties, you should house hack. You should buy a 1 to 4 family unit, live in one of the units, and have your tenants make you live for free and pay off your mortgage. If you want to be a realtor, get your realtor license. If you want to start wholesaling or flipping houses, it all starts with marketing. At the end of the day, I don't own a real estate business. I own a marketing business. Real estate is just my product. Without marketing, without leads coming in, there's no houses to buy. So you have to do marketing, and marketing can be paid or not paid. You can do Craigslist ads. You can do bandit signs, which are cheaper. You can do door knocking. You can handwrite your own letters and mail them out. Or you can pay a direct mail company and pay a cold call company and pay, a PPC company. But you have to do marketing to get these leads in the door to be able to get an opportunity to buy and or wholesale a house.
So is it just a matter of like whoever's the best marketer wins, or what other elements are important to, let's say, vital to somebody's success in this game of real estate or wholesaling?
It's always follow up. So like if you and I get the same lead and they don't want to sell today, but I call them next week and you don't call them for 6 months, I'm going to get the deal because I'm doing the follow up. I had one of my acquisitions guys. He's like, bro, I just went through a lot of our old leads and like 8 of them already sold to other investors. I was like, we just lost out on all that money, So you got to do the follow up, number one, and you got to do the work. Even if people are calling in, they don't just say, here is $100,000. Like you got to take the calls, you got to monitor the calls, you got to do the follow-ups, you got to go out and meet the people on a Saturday during your favorite football team's game. Like you got to do the work to get in the right places at the right times.
Dude, that's so powerful you say that, because that reminds me of the grind, man. Like I've got this thing where if I can do it right this second, I just do it this second. I'm not doing it tomorrow, next week, next year. Speed delete is everything. Talk to me about the grind, man. Like what does it mean? Like young millionaire, what do you got to do to get to that point in your grind? Like walk us through maybe some of your mindset pieces on this, or some of the things that you've had to do up until this point.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what the book is about, honestly. It's from Validated Millionaire, the 10 things they, quote unquote, don't tell you to become rich. And it goes back to mindset. The secret to success is putting in the work. It's that simple. But, the mindset is, when I started real estate to the day, when I said I want to flip houses to the day I made money flipping houses, was a 16-month process. 16 months of grinding every single day. I was valeting cars for 70 to 80 hours a week. I was going to school full time, taking 15 credit hours, and I was trying to start my real estate business on the side, and I was a realtor showing houses.
Damn.
So there were all these things I was doing for 16 months in a row, but literally didn't make a single penny, not one. The only money I made was valet, and I put every penny I had back in marketing. So it's a grind. Like you're going to go through mental doubts. Like, is this for me? You got your friends calling you like, yo, what's wrong with you? Why haven't we seen you? You're lame. Luckily, I've always had support from my family, which was a blessing, but like you could even have your family turn against you. Like, why are you working so hard and you haven't even made any money, son? Like, so those are all mental blocks you're going to have to get through. But the difference between people successful and unsuccessful, the successful get up and keep going. A lot of people over that 16 months would have quit in the first week, first month, second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month. And I just sustained it long enough. So outside of just grinding and working, the power of the people you're around. So surrounding yourself with the right people is huge. Because if you're around a bunch of no-names, you're going to be a no-name. If you're around a bunch of millionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. And then I'm a big believer in negativity. That's probably a top 1 or 2 things. You cannot control what comes into your mind. Things just pop into your mind. You see something, you think of something. You cannot control what comes in, but you can control your reaction to that. You can either fester with it and let it grow, or you can immediately eliminate it or turn it into a positive. So that's been huge for me as well.
Dude, that's powerful. So let me just reiterate that. You can't control what comes in, but you can control what you do with it. Walk us through what it takes to develop that kind of Yoda mindset, because I think that is like a key ingredient, man, in being able to stay committed as an entrepreneur, stay committed as a young hustler, put in those 80 hours a week because you're going to deal with some crap. So what does that look like? And what did you have to do to kind of develop that kind of mental reasoning?
Absolutely. I mean, it's something you got to work on every day. And, I still fault at it sometimes, but you consciously have to think every single time when a thought comes into your mind. You got to have a zero tolerance. It's not, oh, well, this time, well, she really made me mad, or this really went south. It's okay to be upset. You have to take responsibility for everything. If something went wrong, it's your fault. I don't care. Whatever happened, if somebody else screwed up, it's your fault. You didn't set the right expectation.
Powerful.
So you have to own everything. Own it from the jump. Because if you don't, right there, you're pushing it off. And you're going to continue pushing other things off in your life.
Dude, that's ultimate accountability, though. Like, so that's really that's the secret ingredient is what you're saying, is be ultimately accountable for everything around you. Am I right?
Agreed. Even if you don't control it, it's still your fucking fault. If it rained,
on you.
Exactly. If you got your car washed and it rained, it's your fault. You got your car washed. Like, own it. You know what I mean? Because even if you don't own it, like, so people are coming up like, well, what happens with the virus? What if it's a whole government hoax and they're just screwing everybody to make a lot of money? Okay, even if it was that, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? That's irrelevant to me. Like, how do I solve my problems? How do I grow in this time? Because the last thing I want to do is be looking back 5 years from now and say, I wish I would have during the coronavirus. So taking ownership for everything.
By the way, if you guys are interested in real estate investing and you are in Canada, I wrote a book here called Real Estate Secrets Exposed. Learn how to actually make money virtually, which is cool, from the comfort of your home. Yes, it is possible if you understand the value and how to do wholesaling. And if you don't know anything about wholesaling, you need to grab this book. It's absolutely free. There's no page numbers. There's nothing else in there. It's just ready to go, though. Humble.ceo to grab your free copy.
They said the person with the biggest TV in their house is the brokest, and the person with the biggest bookshelf in their house is the wealthiest.
Dude, I'm gonna drop a bomb on that. Say that one more time, man. That's money right there, dude. That's money. Say it.
The biggest bookshelf, wealthiest, biggest TV, brokest.
Love that.
So you have to read. You have to educate yourself. Learning starts after traditional school.
Right.
Any successful person reads. I promise you, they read. Most successful people journal, and if they don't journal, they meditate. And all reading and journaling, all it is thinking about you, thinking about your process, becoming the best you. So you have to do that. And biggest thing, like, what do I journal about? Whatever comes to your mind. What you're grateful for. What you screwed up last year. What you wish you would have done this year. What you're gonna do this year. What your goals are. Like, anything that comes to your mind, just write down literally whatever's on your mind.
See, I think the mind is such a powerful instrument that gets so underutilized, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when you're writing stuff down, I think it forces you to evaluate your thoughts, the thought on the thought, like Mark would say.
Yep.
And then it forces you to, like, face certain things, like realities. Like, is this really what I believe? Why do I believe it? How do I solve this? Then you put it in your brain. It goes in your subconscious. Even when you're sleeping, you're working on these problems. So I don't think we're feeding our brain big enough problems. I think we're feeding it freaking Tiger Shark Man, whatever that thing is called. What's that thing called? Tiger Dude? Tiger King? Whatever, Tiger Queen? Something like that. Like, we're feeding it that stuff instead of feeding it, like, how do I make $1 million this year? I think we're asking ourselves the wrong questions. And until we write it down, we're not going to really start working on the solution because we don't truly believe we have a problem.
Seriously. No, I mean, like you said, it's the right questions. Like, I don't want to solve how do I make the phone connect to the right phone call? Like, I don't want to solve that problem. I want to solve how do I move $1 million to double it in the next 6 months? Like, those are the problems that I want to solve. Or $10 million or $100 million. Again, thinking too fucking small. Like, why only $1 million? You know what I mean? So you got to solve bigger problems, and you got to ask yourself the right questions to figure out what problems you need to solve. But, like, right now, I love this. Like, everything that's happened. Okay, let me rephrase that. Not,
you're gonna get some people like,
no, not.
I'm gonna get those comments later.
not
rephrase it. I know what you mean.
But, like, the economic of this, it tightened everybody. Everyone was just lollygagging. Everyone was cool. Everybody was making money, and it tightened up really quick, like in a matter of less than a week, and it makes people get creative. I've started new businesses in the past, 14 days because I was comfortable. I thought I was, doing more than I was. But when times like this happen, it makes you get creative, and you have to ask yourself better questions on how you never allow this to happen to you again.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are entrepreneurs and love the game, let's be honest, the game just got more interesting.
Oh,
so it's for the love of the game, not for the love of the situation that created the game. That's irrelevant. It's for the love of the game. Because what happens if you truly love the game, a whole bunch of players just walked off the field.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not on the field no more.
Absolutely.
They walked off, which means there's less players, which means you get more ball time, which means now you can really start stepping it up, and you can start getting better and better and better with a smaller, tighter group of investors and people out there and business owners. So if you love the game is exciting right now. See, the game was kind of dormant, a little bit boring for a minute, right? You know, a lot of people trying to get on this court, a lot of people trying to, do the thing. And then what happened was, boom, you guys are all off the court. Now it's like, okay, we can get back out there and truly play.
Yeah, no, it's time to create now. We got to be creators.
Yeah, and we have to create. I'll talk about that, man, because I think you got a great mindset about this, Rock, is about this piece is like we're always creating something. You're not sitting back criticizing, right? Well, no. So talk to me about the value and the importance of creation.
I mean, it spurs everything. It starts everything. Any idea that you have, who knows? We could be sitting here talking. We could be the next Uber. You know what I mean? But you have to create, and that comes, in my opinion, from thinking or manifesting or affirmations or journaling. You can't create if you're like always on go, talking all day, every day. You have to take time for yourself, because that's where creation is at. That's where you feel the most free. At least for me, it does. I'm free. I can write down whatever I want to write down. So creation is where it all starts. For any business that we had, creation started it. I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to go to the NBA. I wanted to, take my family on a vacation. Whatever that creation is, then you need to figure out how to get there. So I'm about to buy a Wraith, like I told you.
You about to buy a Wraith? Come on, man. Give me that Wraith. Okay.
I saw a picture of a Rolls Royce Dawn, which is a Wraith, but it's a drop top, and it's like way more expensive. I saw this picture like 2 days ago, and it's like, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000 more. And I was like, how can I create $60,000 in the next 2 weeks so I can go get the Dawn? So it's creation that gets you creative, how to make more money, how to put yourself in the right positions.
You're solving awesome problems now, because you're like, it's the old Robert Kiyosaki thing. Let me go buy an asset. Let me go do something to create the revenue. So go ahead and buy the liability. See, a lot of people are trying to earn their way into the asset, right? I want to earn my way into that liability piece, into that car. So you're earning your way into a $30,000 a year Honda versus earning your way into a new Maserati or Porsche, Ferrari, whatever. See, the people buying Porsches and Ferrari are not earning their way there. They're creating that opportunity, which then spits out the revenue, which then you go ahead and buy that liability, right? So how people understand the difference, man. I think people are like, dude, I have to save my way to a Wraith. It's going to take me my whole life. Meanwhile, you 26, right? You 26, you about to rock the drop top.
Absolutely, bro. So like, let's say my payment's $3,000 a month for the car. Yeah. How do I buy enough buildings, or how do I create a business that pays me more than $3,000 a month? So like I bought 2 duplexes. I'll make like $1,400 a month on that. So how do I create another business model that pays that residual for me? Or how do I go and buy more properties that pays that residual for me? Because you buying a car, it depreciates instantaneously. Buying a building, that the income will then pay for the car, that money makes money forever. Once the car's gone, you still make money. Appreciation, depreciation. If you buy the asset first, but you got to delay it. That's the thing a lot of people don't enjoy doing. You have to delay the car. Because I can go buy a car right now. Would be the smartest financial decision? No. But so you delay it to grow something, and then you can really enjoy what you create.
So talk to me about the delayed gratification piece, because, man, the first 3.5 years I lived in a duplex. I drove older cars. I really wasn't keeping up with the Joneses, dude. I was way behind them Joneses. Yep. But what happened is 10 years later, it's like I might as well be 100 years ahead, because now we drive whatever, right? So talk to me about the value of it's interesting as an entrepreneur, because we have to live less, and then one day we live way above. So Absolutely. Talk about that piece there, so people can understand that. And then, is it for everybody or no?
So different people have different goals. If your goal is to make $100,000 a year and drive a Rolls Royce, like go out and buy the Rolls Royce and go do that. But if you want to make, generational wealth money, that people never have to worry about money again type of money, sacrifice definitely comes into play. Like I told you, I made $103,000 as a 22-year-old. And I literally kid you not, I spent $0 on anything for me. I paid off my debt and I put it all back into the business. Wow. I didn't buy shoes. I didn't go on a vacation, nothing. I may have gone to dinner, maybe.
Okay.
But
on a $100,000 steak. No, but you ain't eat the steak.
But I always had the bigger vision. Like I always had a bigger goal. So I'm like you. I drove a Toyota Camry and I was making multiple six figures a year, like an 04 Toyota Camry.
Okay.
I lived with my parents till I was 23. I lived in a duplex till a year and a half ago because I was frugal. You know what I mean? But now, like I'm not anywhere where I want to be at. But now I have the ability because I have other income coming in from what I've delayed, from the money I've used to purchase assets that can now pay for my vacations and my cars and my house and stuff like that. So it's how do I do this? If you don't delay gratification, you'll go up relatively quick, but then you'll stop. If you delay gratification, you're gonna sit here for a while, then you can take it through the roof immediately after that.
Boom.
So it just depends what your goals are.
I love that, man. I love that. But it gives inspiration to people who are wanting to get started on the journey. So you did this in 5 years. I think 5 years is a great benchmark for people. In fact, right now, because the market's so volatile, if you get smart and invest in yourself and you get into a mastermind or get into a group where people are truly doing deals, within 2 to 5 years, anybody can be living significantly better than where they're living today. You could be creating real wealth. You could be accumulating real estate. You could be creating hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, doing deals. We know people doing 40, 50 deals every month, every month, which is insane. Put money in the bank. But I think some people assume that it takes a long time. But as I wrap up, I want to kind of ask you this question. I don't think it takes a lot of time. I think the reason why people take a long time doing it is because they do not invest in themselves. They keep playing checkers when they should be playing chess. They don't even know that chess exists. So they're playing checkers because they simply don't know what they don't know.
Absolutely.
So what's your take on that, man? Like, should everybody play chess, and how do they get to that level?
No, for sure. It's playing small. At the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. If you know how to flip a suburban house with a $40,000 renovation, there's not a massive amount of those types of houses. You'll find a house every once in a while and make a little bit of money. But if you open up the opportunities, meaning that you learn from somebody teaches you other opportunities that are in the marketplace, your growth 10x's, it multiplies. And you're not doing 2 + 2 is 4. You're doing 10 times 10 is 100. So when you put yourself in those situations and you allow yourself to become educated, I believe in the next 12 months, you can do what you were going to do in the next 5 years. You can shrink that down because the opportunity is here. And if you educate yourself correctly and you surround yourself with the right people and you take the right advice, you can change your life very, very quickly. And this is I wasn't around. I was around, but I wasn't doing business in 08. I was 13. But I've never in my life heard anybody say, I wish I would have done less in 2008. Everybody said, I wish I'd have bought another house. I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have done this. So big old thing on my board right now. I wish I would have done more in 2020 is what I wrote. And underneath it, I wrote Rolls Royce Dawn because that's what I'm trying to create bigger things.
Last piece of advice, man, for folks, again, we got a lot of folks on the show that would kill to be in a positive situation, but they're living in fear right now, man. They're so afraid of what's going on and they're living by the news and the media. Last piece of advice for people, man, what they should be doing right this second.
No, the biggest thing that I live by, somebody, I don't know, I was maybe 12 or 13, 14 years old. They said that somebody out there is working harder than you to take your spot. And to me, that goes back to time. Time is the most valuable thing in the world, and you can never have more of it. So there's an opportunity right now for you to be learning. If you're in the business, pivot and learn new business models and grow. If you're not in a business and you maybe just got laid off from your job, it's a blessing in disguise. Now you literally have no excuse to not learn something. You can go on YouTube and learn stuff. I'm learning to trade stocks right now because stocks are 30 cents on the dollar, and I'm learning it off of YouTube. And I'm about to buy a course to learn it. But there's no better time than right now. You'll never have this time back. You can literally change your life. So value time, value who you spend it with, value what you do with your time, and use it, especially during these times, to better yourself.
Powerful, dude. That's some powerful lessons right now. Where can folks need to grab my boy's book? It's a positive, uplifting read. I love your story, man. Where's the best spot for them to grab your book right now? Is it Amazon, dude?
AustinRutherfordofficial.com.
Okay, because I know Amazon shut down right now. So AustinRutherfordofficial.com. Grab it off there. And dude, where's the best place? A lot of folks, I'm sure, gonna want to connect with you after the show, get plugged into what you're doing. Where's the best place they can follow you and get to know you better, man?
Instagram, I'm on all day, every day. Instagram's Austin Rutherford Official, and YouTube is just Austin Rutherford as well.
Austin Rutherford Official and YouTube. Dude, that's so awesome. Man, I'm so, listen, I'm so honored and happy to have met you, through the mastermind group, and we got to know each other, and our wives are having great conversations. And, I'm glad they get along, dude, because you and I can be boys and chat every time we go out for dinner. They got plenty to talk about, man. Hey, it's Ben Humble. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what my guest is talking about and you're getting massive value from it, then scroll to the bottom, open up the description, and follow them on social media. Support them, connect with them. Just scroll down there, click the link, and let's roll. Stay humble.
Make sure to subscribe to Ben on YouTube so you can stay up to date on everything Humble, featuring daily episodes of the Humble Podcast and weekly video content providing motivation, real estate strategies, and personal development for everyday life. Also, follow Ben on Facebook and Instagram for daily interactions. Check out humble.ceo and download a chapter of Ben's new book, From Communism to Capitalism, absolutely free.